I had another talk with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler.
What these men stand for, we will patiently and temporarily discover.
Go quiet. The wind changes direction, and everyone knows it's coming. Welcome to History Shadows, a podcast that pulls forgotten stories out of the dark. I'm Dr. Simonas Strelcovas, historian, author, researcher. For years, I've dug through archives, tracing the lives of people who stood on history's edge, some who fell, and others who found a way to survive. This series takes us into one of the most turbulent periods of the 20th century. 4 episodes, 4 acts of a drama that unfolds between September 1939 and the summer of 1940. One of the shortest, strangest, and most dangerous windows in modern European history. Before we dive into the chaos, we need to set the stage. Because this isn't just about the diplomats in Kaunas in 1940. It's about why they were there in the first place. Lithuania, 1939. Once the heart of the Grand Duchy stretching from the Baltic to the Black Sea, swallowed by the Russian Empire in the 18th century, reborn in 1918 after the chaos of World War I and the Revolution. 20 years of fragile independence, but by 1939, geography had become cruel. To the west, Nazi Germany, to the east, the Soviet Union, and in between, a Lithuania, small, military weak, strategically vital. When Hitler and Stalin signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in August 1939, the map of Eastern Europe was carved up like a roast at the dinner table. Lithuania's fate was decided without a single Lithuanian in the room. When Germany invaded Poland in September, tens of thousands of refugees poured across the borders. The Polish soldiers, Jewish civilians, politicians, spies. They came because Lithuania wasn't occupied yet, because it was still neutral, because there was nowhere else to go. By October, Lithuania signed a treaty with the Soviet Union, regaining Vilnius in exchange for Soviet military bases on its soil. That deal would prove fatal. But in the short term, it made Vilnius a magnet for refugees, especially Jews fleeing German-occupied Poland. By the end of 1939, there were around 10,000 Jewish refugees in Vilnius alone, plus thousands more scattered across the country. For a brief, strange moment, Lithuania became a transit zone, a liminal space between life and death, a place where the right documents could mean escape, and the wrong ones could mean a train to Siberia or worse. How did Kaunas, this little city on the Neris River, become a nest of spies, diplomats, and shadow deals? How did Lithuania try to move refugees out, beg for international help, and almost by accident set the stage for one of the most famous humanitarian rescues of the war? That's where we start. This story happens in a narrow crack in history, from autumn 1939 to summer 1940. Lithuania was not yet fully under Soviet control, but was already living in its shadow. The Nazi threat was just over the border. The entire situation was unsustainable, and everyone knew it. That's what makes the choices of people like Sugihara and Zwartendijk so powerful. They weren't operating in some comfortable diplomatic posting in peacetime. They were standing in a crumbling building, handing out keys to their last working exits. Over the next 4 episodes, we'll meet the refugees, Some famous, most forgotten, will step inside the consulates, will watch the train schedules, the border crossings, the coded telegrams, and will feel the clock ticking down. Because by June 15, 1940, the Red Army will march into Lithuania, and the window will slam shut. History likes to talk about turning points. This is one of them, but it's a strange one. A turning point that almost nobody noticed at the time. A brief intersection where global war, regional politics, and individual coincidence all collided, and for some, created a narrow, dangerous path to freedom. This is History Shadows. Let's begin.